Welcome back to the ride. It's foggy, it's cold, me and words are not working today, so why not do a video? Okay, this video I want to talk about the year 1717 and why it's an important year, but not as important as some people think. Now, I have done a video on the origins of Freemasonry, and I've kind of skipped over this side of it because that video was already getting way too long. So why not make another video that's going to be just as long? So, it is said and believed by the few, Masons that is, by the general public, probably a lot of them, that 1717 is the year that Freemasonry was founded, that Speculative Masonry started, the Grand Lodge of England started, and that's it. Can't be true, can it? Doesn't make sense. I mean, I explained in one of my other videos anyway, maybe it was the origin video, where, you know, 4 blokes get together from 4 different lodges. That infers already that Freemasonry pre-existed. But let's look at what was happening in the world at the time. Why would it come out? Because we do need to ask the question, why? Why that year? Why not 100 years prior? So what was going on in the world? Well, in England and Scotland, because around, well, let's go back 200 years prior to that, King Henry VIII didn't quite get along with the Pope. They had some different points of view. So he separated England and Scotland from the Vatican, from the Church, and he sets up the Church of England. Now, some say it's because he wanted a divorce. A lot of people seem to believe that is the main reason, and it probably is. I wasn't around back then to confirm. There was a number of other areas as well, or issues that he had, and that created the separation, which is great. That's creating the first good marker for Freemasonry to come from underground. Then his relative, King James VI of Scotland, who also was King James I of England. He comes in, continues that tradition. So we've had, I can't tell you exactly how many years because I'm on a motorbike, not in front of my computer. But, you know, late 1500s, King Henry VIII is no longer with us. King James the 1st/6th comes into power. Now it is alleged that King James was a Freemason. Now historians argue that because they say, well, Freemasons will say that he was initiated in 1601. Historians argue that because they say, well, the documentation proving that was written 50 years after his initiation. That's still well before 1717. And maybe he didn't want a lot of things documented. They didn't document a lot of things because they were just coming out of hiding. Many reasons for it. The historian's argument is mute, not valid. And then if they're not a Mason, what's it got to do with them? So, anyway, it's already alleged that in 1601 King James was initiated into Freemasonry, into Lodge something like that. Google it. Google it and find another video that'll explain it, right? Maybe I'll put something up on the screen if I'm not too lazy. And honestly, when it comes to editing these videos, some videos I don't even bother editing. I just put up the raw file. And that's because there was no need to edit the video. I try to do these in one long go, or one sweep, because why not? Anyway, so the environment was right. The church is out and the new church is in, and we've got monarchs that aren't against Freemasons, aren't against the alternative teachings. So that's setting the scene. That's doing quite well. Because again, in 1717 they didn't just wake up and go, oh, I've got a brilliant idea. Let's set up a Grand Lodge. Of what? Well, let's go up to these big burly blokes that carve stone and say, hey, we like what you do, we just want to put our, I don't know, spin on things. Sure, come in and join. No, come on, man. That doesn't make any sense. So, anyway. So King Henry, King James, that's all good. Now, King James has later come up with the King James Version of the Bible, and that is the main Bible that's used around the world, and it's used in Masonic lodges. Could that be because he was a Mason? I don't know. Ask him. So that gives us a bit of an environment, a bit of a scene what's going on. Now, I did mention the witch hunts, right? So the witch hunts were going on. King James was actually pretty keen on the witch hunts. Not against Masons, obviously. He'd be killing himself. That'd be a bit awkward. But against witches. And he went to speak with the Dutch king, I believe it was, and got a bit of a wee drab of advice from him. But the Masons were excluded from a lot of that under his reign in Scotland and in England. And being that he was from Scotland, and Henry was from Scotland, it would make sense why they were protected and felt safer earlier to come out with their lodges. Okay, I smell bushfire, but I just see fog everywhere. So I don't know where the bushfire is. I can't do much about it. Yeah, so that explains why Scotland was feeling a bit safer to get things, the ball rolling a bit earlier. And now another reason why, well, if that's not enough for you, another reason why 1717 doesn't work, just look how slowly things move in a Grand Lodge. It takes time for anything to happen. It takes time for anything to happen in Freemasonry in general, even within just an individual lodge. And the reason for that is, I can't even see where this road changes from bitumen to dirt. Oh, there it is. Okay, I can't see anything. This could be an interesting video, because there is a corner coming up somewhere here. Sun in the eyes, fog in the face. Great combination, Brad. Good time to pick a ride. Yeah, so things happen slowly, and I'll go over that. I'll do a video on what to expect if you decide to join Freemasonry, if I survive that far, because I can't see what's in front of me. Let me wipe my... Oh, that didn't help at all. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I'll do another video on what to expect if you decide to join Freemasonry. It's not going to be a quick process, and when I say, well, I can only talk about what happens in Queensland, because I'm involved in Freemasonry in Queensland. But I'll go through what to expect and how long it's going to take, and yeah, all that kind of stuff in a separate video. So the discussions prior for these four Masons from four different lodges would have been lengthy. There would have been a lot of other lodges. Would have been a lot of other lodges involved in that process. So many discussions, many arguments, and then many of, well, who cares, we're doing it anyway, before that even came to be. So 1717, no. That's not when Speculative Masonry started. But yet, when there was a first sort of Grand Lodge in England, sure, that makes sense. And in Scotland, yep, there were lodges documented in the 1590s, I believe, something like that. But when you've got good old King Henry VIII and King James looking after you, that's why they could come out around about that time. Anything earlier than that, they're under the church, power of the Vatican. They're not going to be doing anything. They're going to get killed. The Vatican doesn't like Freemasonry, and they still don't like Freemasons today. Maybe we do a video on that one. That's going to turn some heads. But yeah, anyway, 1717 doesn't make sense. It's not when Freemasonry started. Definitely not when Speculative Freemasonry started. And the teachings go thousands of years before that anyway. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense. If it doesn't, that's okay. And I'll see you on the next video or in Lodge. Have fun.